Bitcoin, crypto crashing. Bitcoin going to drop down to 80K next. Well, that's what a lot of the analysts are saying out there. Is it just one big bear trap trying to trap people with moving price action to the downside, only to reverse fiercely back into bullish reversal and continuation? We're going to look at the charts. We're going to look at the signs, signals, everything going on in the market. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We got to get into it because we got some signals that are suggesting that there could be a reversal coming in. In fact, there's some bearish divergence on the Bitcoin dominance, suggesting, are we seeing signs that the altcoins may have bottomed? We got a lot of signs, signals, and charts we're going to be looking at today. So everybody get involved. Let me know that you're alive. Type something in this live chat, whether you're watching on Twitter, on X, or here on YouTube. Let us know that you are here. Nicole Tater, I see you chatting live from X. Just a reminder, if you are watching on X, if you expand it, you can do the live chat. I do see it. But with that being said, everybody, let's get into it. Let's talk about what is going on in this market. Let's go. The markets are green when you look at the daily candles because we had a pretty big washout to the downside. Look at Pi up 84%. We see IMX almost 12%, Ultima 10%, Litecoin making some moves here at 15% up. Virtual is also up 11%, TIA up 17%, Barra up almost 22%, Render up 10%, DOT also making some moves. This is on the daily. If you come back to the hour, earlier everything was green on the hour. But now we got to ask ourselves, is there a bit of a bull trap that happened in this bear trap? It seems like the market is just chop suing. So what do we do? Because when we look at the market, this is it looking at the 4 hour. Let's look at the 12 hour. I mean, it's almost like it's formed a giant falling wedge here, which would be very bullish. But this doesn't mean it has to absolutely break out bullishly immediately. Because remember, we've seen a lot of these situations where this is indicated that the likelihood is a breakout to the upside. But in these patterns, as of late, what we've seen more often than not is a breakdown bearish out of these and then the move back up, then the basically finding where the bulls come back in to finally get that move up, thus chopping out both people to the downside, chopping them out to the upside, flushing those people out for one last flush to ultimately get the move. So we got to talk about this because the market just seems to just be boring the hell out of everybody and getting people committed in both directions. So when we dive into this, we're going to be looking at a lot of charts today, a lot of different data, fear and greed, what's going on with NVIDIA, a reminder of where we've been in the last cycles, where we're at potentially in this cycle. Of course, is this a potential Wyckoff accumulation or distribution, aka is it setting up to break down or setting up to pump higher? And then, of course, some levels we got to look at based on the volumes on the charts, and then just bullishness, and some signals that we got to dive into here. So why is this not loading? Let's get it loaded. There we go. But before we dive into this, let's go ahead and welcome everybody to the stream. How you doing? How you feeling? Got a couple hundred people in here. We're going to have a couple hundred more pop in here in the next few minutes. Hope you're all dealing with the market frustration. If you are frustrated, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. If you're frustrated with what the market's doing right now, you may be a little bit over allocated. You may be have a little bit of the wrong time horizon. You may be, more bullish bias or more bearish bias. We got to dissect this so we can make sure that we stay on the right side of this trend, because the trend dominantly is going to be up over the next many months. Does that mean it's going up in the next day or two? Not necessarily, but I do think that resolution to the upside is going to be coming. The question is, do we get a move down to flush everybody out, down into 80, maybe 77, maybe 74? Well, the market's not going to do what you want it to do. It's going to do what it wants to do. And there's big money players that are in the game now that can move this market in ways that you can't even comprehend. It'll be irrational longer than most can stay solvent. So let's dive in to what we got to look at here in the markets, because we got a lot to talk about today. So let's look at it. First off, looking at the Bitcoin value map. I pointed this out a few times over the last several months. Once when the price action came here into this fair value band, this this is a fair value band here. We've been tapping our head on this overvalue band, got rejected, tapped on it again. And this is important because when we look historically, look, we rejected here, came down. I don't think we're going to do that. But then even right here, boom, as soon as we broke through this, basically the resolution of the final parabola of the move. What we see back here in 2017, rejected at it, came down, found value, found the fair value band, rejected at it again, fair value band, rejected at it again, fair value band. And it's only once we broke free from it, that's where the fireworks took place, not only in Bitcoin, but in the altcoin markets as well. So we've kind of been held off of getting that overjoy. Now, why is that? Because we don't have retail truly coming in droves yet. We don't have that flood of new liquidity coming into the market that really gives you that FOMO, that hype buying, that gives you that last leg of super exuberant price action that comes in. In addition to retail, what we're also looking for in this cycle is big money players layering in, which we've seen. But what everything is waiting on right now, I think, is having a little bit more clarity about what's going to be going on with the strategic Bitcoin reserves, in addition to these different corporate treasuries that could be stacking in. Right now, we have the gift. Let me say this again. Right now, we have God's gift in these markets that it's not running away. We should not be frustrated that the market isn't just going straight parabolic right now. We see the composition of everything that's been built up over this last year and a half, primarily with all these new capital channels, with all these new major players, with world governments talking about Bitcoin, with states talking about strategic Bitcoin reserves, with Google working in to build tools and integrative solutions for wallets, for Bitcoin and crypto, for all the billions of customers that they have there. We see Amazon building into AI. We see Microsoft has already had a board meeting around having a Bitcoin treasury, which they kind of kicked the can down the road, but it is inevitable that we are going to see billions, in fact, hundreds of billions of dollars flooding into this market in the very coming months, into the coming years. So the fact that the price isn't running away right now, we should be celebrating and taking advantage of it in every way we can. This is why we don't over allocate, but we want to layer in as much as possible before this market runs away from us. So let's dive into it. How's everybody doing? I see we got Tater here, Green Day Prophet, Sparrowhawk, Overcome, Granny's Garden, St. Goose, Renegade Designers, Chipper. Good morning, TX. How you doing? I'm originally from Texas. Tara Rodriguez, Green Day Prophet. We got the whole crew here. Alexandra G, the OG of the crypto mods here in the space. But let's dive into it. If this is your first time here, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time here. My name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. Let's dive into what we got to look at, because we got some charts, we got some data, we got some things. We're sitting here just hovering under $3 trillion. And people are frustrated at this. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, because if you come over here and look at the total market cap, actually, let's go right here. Total, TOTAL. We look at the total market cap, which is everything. Look at this, man. We pumped up all the way up here into the 3.5, 3.6, almost 3.7. Even we got the 3.7 back here, December 2024. And it's over, right, guys? Everybody, it's over. Is that the consensus? Because we've pulled back, that's a pretty significant amount, almost $1 trillion. Can you imagine that? The market is down. The crypto market's down roughly just under $1 trillion in market cap. And we still have such a bullish outlook because we look at all the data and everything going on in the market. It just reminds us we need to be a little bit more patient and take advantage of this opportunity, everybody. We've lost $1 trillion and we're still hovering just under $3 trillion. Can you imagine where this market's going? And we're frustrated. And then we come back over here and realize we're still getting movement in the market, a lot of chop, both up and down. It's just because people are getting a little bit too presumptuous about the speed at which this market is going to start to make that move upward. So we over allocate. And that's why I said here, this is where the diamonds are made. Can you handle the pressure? Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, setting up for greatness if you can hang on here at these levels. If you can DCA in or do nothing at all if you're already in. Most people never make it. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't need to be crypto. It could be stocks, could be a job, could be skateboarding, playing guitar. Most people, by the law of statistics, the majority will not be among the most successful. The top 5%, the top 10%, those are the most successful. And by nature, if you have a top 10%, 90% aren't doing as good, right? If you have a top 1%, 99% aren't doing as good. In this case, we all want to be successful. In order to make it in this market or anything in life, you've got to be more patient than the rest. You've got to have a better strategy than the rest. In this case, strategy, patience, and action, contrary to the masses, is what will serve your future profits. Retail sells while smart money's buying. When retail starts buying en masse, then that tends to be the exit liquidity for the big money, the smart money that bought months and months, or sometimes years before. Stack now, be patient, profits later. That's what we're working on right now. And I do want to shout out at the beginning of this stream, because we got some things going on later today. There is a $17,000 giveaway. I'm going to say that again, roughly $17,000 giveaway that is happening this afternoon. I'm co-hosting a Spaces with the dog community. It's right here. You can see it. Today, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, $17,000 dog coin giveaway. Join the Spaces. It's tagged below. I'll share it here as well. There's going to be huge dog updates. Also, how to trade dog on Solana. They're also bridging and creating more access points. So it's basically multi-chain. So a lot more people can trade on this. We don't need tier 1 exchanges. Hell, without tier 1 exchanges already, dog has already gotten up to about $1 billion market cap, and this setup on it is beautiful. So today, OG General, he is putting up the $17,000 worth of dog that we'll be giving away. So you need to make sure you interact. Check out this tweet, and I'll actually share this link right here because there's going to be some stuff. Just all you got to do is be tuned in, and there's going to be some activity that you need to do that we'll talk about on that live stream at 1 o'clock today. $7.5 million in dog, $7.5 million dog coins have been donated by the OG General. This is not by the token itself. Remember, this is a community coin. So come participate. Who knows? You might learn a little bit about dog. You might get some of that $17,000 that is given away. You can see right here. So I just shared that link in the live chat there. If you're on my Twitter, just scroll down on my page and you will see it. Now, continuing on, what we got? We are in that buy zone. What am I talking about? Buy zone. This extreme fear, when you're feeling it, you need to start realizing extreme fear is something, fear and hope is something everybody feels. So if you're feeling extreme fear, if you're really starting to question, those tend to be the moments where it's kind of like if you ever watched George Seinfeld, If you ever watched Seinfeld, the character George, at one point, he always makes all the wrong decisions. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to do the opposite of whatever I think I should do. That's kind of what plays out in this market. That's why on the tweet that I just shared a second ago, right here, where is it? I said, where is it? Right here. Where I said right here, you want to, when retail, blah, 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 you want to do strategy, patience, and action contrary to the masses. Sometimes we're part of that mass, and you can feel that feeling, and you realize extreme fear tends to be the best spots in the market to buy. We're seeing whales still stacking up. We're seeing a lot of incredible bullishness. In fact, I was going to share this later, but where is it at? It's right here. This is where we're at. If you think it's too late to buy Bitcoin, it's topped, it's done. This is where we're at, about 3 or 4% adoption, Bitcoin in 2025. Online banking in 1996, this is basically where we're at relative. This is where we're at also relative to internet in 1990. Now you ask yourself, if Bitcoin is outpacing the speed of the internet adoption, and we're at this level, in fact, you can see it even more clearly on this, nearly 4% of the world is estimated to own Bitcoin. And the adoption rate is going faster than that of the rate of the internet, also online banking. We saw how pervasive those things have come. And people are looking at this. They're looking at the chart over here on the 15-minute candles, and they go, well, why would I buy now? This is dead. It's over. Motherfucker, look at the damn chart. Zoom out on this thing and realize we are in an incredible bull market that's having these nice run-ups, sideways price action. Nice run-up. Let's shake some bitches off. Nice run-up, sideways price action, shaking people off in both directions that are getting too excited and scared. Stop that nonsense. And now look, massive run-up from August here. I mean, look at this. The move that has been made since August right here, up to that market cycle top that we've had so far, 109, 116% move since August. If you look at it from here, this is the election date, we had a move up that's about 62% move. The market needs to consolidate a little bit. Now, if it needs to really shake some people off because they're not learning their lessons and we're seeing open interest spike, and this does lose this falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern, but we're seeing things shake people off and sort of contrary to what the pattern suggests. So if this does need to come down in here, look, if this breaks down, we have the horizontal resistance here that is a nice support. We have the order block right here where a lot of liquidity interest is. And we also have the CME, where is it at? The CME futures gap, which is down in that region as well. So we have multiple things that are indicating, where is that right here? We have multiple things indicating that if this does fall, it's not the end of the world. And then in addition to all that, we have this parallel channel that a lot of people are not paying attention to that also has this sort of intermediary, the halfway point of this channel. So we have the high here, the low here, the low here, the rejection here, the bounce. I mean, look at how perfect this is. The bounce here, and then we have this intermediary target from this high here, this sort of chop bounce here, rejection here, chop right in the zone, rejection here. And this comes perfectly in contention with all of these horizontal, with these rising levels of previous resistance and support. So coming down to here wouldn't be the end of the world. In fact, it'd be right in line with everything that we could be expecting. In fact, this really would wash people out. Do I think it's going to happen? It's kind of 50-50 right now. I'm still bullish. My bias is still bullish here. This feels like something that could be a washout. And I'm going to show you why right here. We have extreme fear. We have the RSI on the 2 and 4 hour charts as low as it's been. The last time was August, the beginning of August last year, which was the washout before the market launched. So that's one point. Then we also see, other than extreme fear, we have the NVDA day news. This is not relevant to what I'm talking about right now, but we need to pay attention to this because this evening, when the NVIDIA news comes out about their earnings, that could put a jolt back in the markets to send the stock market back higher, but this also could be a catalyst to drive things down. But when we get back into the Bitcoin stuff, we got Trade Fly in the room. What's up, my man? We got to get you on the charts here sometime and get you as a guest on here. Thank you for the super chat as well. Big love to you. We got 681 people watching between Twitter and YouTube. So shout out to everybody that is here. And this is a reminder, extreme fear, but also looking at the previous cycles. Let me exit out of this so you can see it. I don't know why that happened. Where did it go? I had to reset my computer right before we went live. I mean, look at this, guys. Retail's panicking. Look at the whales buying. Whales aren't buying. Whales buy before massive moves, okay? They stack in down here at the lows. They take profit into the retail that is buying up here. So although we had this, nice bull market going on here, the architecture and the forward-looking speculation about bullishness is ridiculously high. And the big players are only now just getting in. So as bullish as I am on price action going up over the next years, right? Are we going to have a sell-off from the 4-year cycle? Maybe. But at minimum, I think we still have another major leg up this year. We are going to have to look at what happens later on this year about, there's going to be a sell-off at some point. Will we get a sell-off we've seen similarly? Regardless of this, we see whales stacking in at an unprecedented level. This does not mean we lose our risk management and realize that although these whales are stacking in, it does not mean this can't come back and test down into 77. It doesn't even mean that we can't come back and test all the way down into the 50s. I put this at a much lower probability. If I had to guess what we're going to do, it's going to be either bouncing here or coming a little bit lower before we come a little bit sideways. That's way too stretched out. Let's go to the 12-hour chart. There we go. Let's see, looking like this. Okay, let's zoom out. If we hold here, pushing up into here, realize even a bounce into this low would be right into this previous range lows. That's one thing you need to pay attention to. So if this does push into this, I do expect a little bit of a rejection. Bulls come in, push back up, test here, chop in here into March. Maybe by the end of March, we'll be testing into this back to the $100,000 range. If we don't get some cataclysmically bullish news that just puts this positive sentiment back in the market, we've got some work to do to get back up into this zone and then start pushing up in here, which would be testing, what is this? Testing up here into the 105, 109 sort of range before we have that resolution to the upside. It's going to take some time to play out. Now, it doesn't have to happen. We've seen massive meltdowns and we've seen massive bullish triggers that just make the market go absolutely boom. Now, get the hell off the screen. There we go. Now, that being said, you can't plan on black swans or super bullish rocket ships that just launched the market. In this case, what happened here? November 4th, November 5th. Well, we had an election. So we had a retest of this previous range high. So this tested. That's one thing. But then the context, the narrative about the hope, positive, bullish speculation about Bitcoin changed dramatically right here on November 5th. When Trump got elected in, whether you like him or not, it changed the forward-looking sentiment about what the support or suppression was going to be looking forward in crypto, because Bitcoin was part of Trump's campaign, because Gary Gensler started announcing his, he was going to be coming into his resignation, because you also have the change in the whole cabinet. And what we're seeing now is a much more positive stance looking forward that is empowering the growth of the growth and attraction to crypto back to the US. So we get this massive boom. And in addition to all that, remember, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve was part of that campaign as well. So you get the massive push up, you get, okay, positive. This was the day of the inauguration right here where we had the high. And then on that day, we didn't get the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. So you get to buy the rumor, sell the news, but this sell the news is only forming a bullish pattern. So regardless of what's happening here, this is all still very bullish. So understanding that really starts to alleviate some of the pressure in the market. Then we also saw, I can go, I don't want to go back and find it. I showed you yesterday in 2017, coming back here, zoom out. Let's go to the 3-day. I think I have it on this chart. Now, there was 11 moves back here in 2016, all the way up here, that were 15% or more. 8 of them were 25 to 40% sell-offs to the downside, almost 40%. What was that? Almost 28%. You see this right here, 33%. Again, oops, exit. Okay, you son of a bitch. Right here, you had that. I mean, this just goes on and on. From $200 up to almost $20,000. Major sell-offs to the downside. Where we're at right now, this has just been a beautiful, beautiful move to the upside. Is it consolidating? Is it selling off? Sure. Why are we being little babies over here? And then from here, from Cyclop, what if this is where we're at? This is very in line kind of with what I'm thinking. Now, this isn't suggesting on a logarithmic curve we're going to go up to 5 million in the cycle by 2025, which is kind of, but having this leg kind of where we're at right now with the little sell-off, getting some work done, and then having, beautiful bullish news coming in sometime middle of the year with Bitcoin reserves and corporate, whatever it is, doesn't matter what, there's going to be something that's going to trigger that final leg that's really going to get us up here. Some people think that we're already in this euphoria and thrill stage. I don't think we're anywhere near it. Having any sort of sell-off here also doesn't make me think that we're at the top of the cycle. We've got so much room to grow in this cycle. We just need to be patient. A sell-off here would just be part of the bullish structure. Understand that, and you're going to be a lot less stressed. And then we got to understand this right here. Wyckoff patterns have 2 functions. Well, they have many, but they tend to have Wyckoff accumulation, which would be typically the pattern shaking people out, ultimately getting this spring where you have this move up to sell off, a move up, lower high, then all of a sudden, boom, you have a lower low here. And then boom, you come right back up. This is just confusion markets for people that do not understand. And this is a market chart pattern that was identified, if I'm not mistaken, I believe in the late 1800s. Crypto wasn't around then. Yeah, no shit. People have been trading assets for a long ass time. Even the candle patterns themselves. Do you guys realize candle patterns, these patterns, when you're looking at a chart, these patterns are made from Japanese rice farmers. I am not bullshitting you. These go back to Japanese rice farmers tracking the price of rice in the market over time. Yes, that is the truth. And so then that started getting, great. It was a great mechanism. And then they started utilizing that for other tracking the price, the price patterns and flow of other assets. Wyckoff identified This is basically just looking at the psychology of the market, and the psychology of the market can be manipulated. And so when you look at a Wyckoff pattern, this is just the market showing you the psychology of what's going on. And then you ultimately get this final spring, which is this final lower low before the move to the upside. The same pattern plays out rather than breaking, having, the move to the upside. The same pattern plays out as a distribution, which would be at a market top before the breakdown. So that's what everybody's trying to figure out right now. Nobody has a crystal ball. Everybody, if trading and investing, everything was so easy, everybody that did would have a shitload of money. The problem is, it is so much easier than people recognize. The problem is we all hold ourselves hostage with the emotional reactions of what's going on in the market. We get triggered typically because we're over allocated or we need the market to go a certain way rather than letting the market resolve over time. Damn, from rice to Bitcoin is deep. Yeah, I mean, you guys think I'm bullshitting? Let's look at this. Candlesticks origin price action. Let's see. Oh, I don't have my screen share. My bad. Hold on. Japanese. I should know how to spell Japanese. My ex-wife is Japanese. Japanese candle price history. Japanese candlesticks were developed in Japan during the 18th century. That's 1700s. To track price movements in the rice markets. At the time, Japanese rice traders used basic system of tracking price movements, but it was not very effective. And then, they developed this over time. That before they use candlesticks, you get to see where the market opens each day, where it closes. In this case, where it opens, where it closes. And these things have just been developed over time and centuries. And then you got Wyckoff. By the way, in BitLab Academy, I talk about all this. I talk about the history and origins of candlesticks, patterns, the breakdown, strategies, indicators, all that. That link is right there, and you might as well use that link because we're under $100,000. That link is only good while we're under $100,000, and we are merging the BitLab Academy. That Discord, everything that we're doing, it's going to be merging with a joint group deal with Blockchain Basement, Discover Crypto. So all of our communities in one spot. And there's going to be basically this VIP, OG, blah, blah, blah. You get access to that and you get locked in with this lower price because the price for the badass thing we're doing is going to be much higher. You get locked in with that price right there. And it's on deal right now. So take advantage of it. And if you want to get the courses and all that, the courses are going to be separated from this in the near future. It's just going to be a one-time price, whatever, but you can lock all that in right now, much lower. Go through there's 120 lessons in there. Take advantage of that. What I'm talking about is that this link that's flashing on this screen right there, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Now, let's get into, Wyckoff pattern history. Look at this, developed by Richard Wyckoff in the early 1900s. So it wasn't in the 1800s, early 1900s. So 130 years ago. Awesome. This stuff has origin. Bitcoin is newer to the block, but these price actions, patterns, charts, skills, all this stuff is relevant. So when we're looking at this, realize this market is doing everything it can to chop you out. This is where all the buyers have been. This is that gap. This is another way to look at the price action where you see the VPVR, the volume, the visible range volume profile. So when we're looking at this, the BitLab, we got this also, where's it at? VP volume right here. So this is how much volume is traded. See this gap? Let's go ahead and zoom out on this and realize this is going to restructure itself. Give me 1 second. It looks at all the volume. So look at this gap right here. All the volume traded up here, nothing right here. So this is another way to look at that. This is a gap. It's really trying to test people. If it does fall below that 85,000 and could be a very quick move that drops boom all the way down here into this $77,000 because there's no volume of support in that area. We've got to pay attention to that. And then you look right here. You're worried when we're so early in adoption, and at the same time, we got 2023, El Salvador paid off its national debt with Bitcoin. You could pay taxes with Bitcoin in Switzerland. Japan accepts Bitcoin as legal payment method. You can buy real estate in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, with Bitcoin. The United States Congress is having a hearing today to discuss digital assets. Yes, another one today. You can't see it at the bottom. Yeah, you can see 26. Chinese officials are currently meeting on whether or not to unban Bitcoin. Hong Kong's been making huge strides in ETFs, and they've legalized certain Bitcoin assets, crypto assets. And then you can also fix the money, fix the world. Are we ready to compete? Are we ready to compete? The U.S., South Dakota, State Representative Logan Meinhardt discusses global Bitcoin and asks, are we ready to compete? The U.S. is super competitive, especially now with Trump in office. I see some major movements happening, not only with Bitcoin, but with strategic assets. So in all the noise, why am I not going every chart right now? Why am I not looking at every price? Okay, what levels? What levels should we watch? Because this is all noise right now, trying to get you to give away your crypto before the market runs away. Cardano, let's look at it. Cardano, I mean, it's just in a falling channel. There's nothing new from today than yesterday. We had a little bounce right on the line that we had. Look at that bounce sitting right here. If this loses it, great. We have levels below us. This is just in a falling channel. ONDO, news with ONDO today. We got this. Where is it at? Boom. Did I delete it? Right here. MasterCard is bringing ONDO Finance into its multi-token network as the first RWA provider on the network. So partnerships with ONDO. Remember, we already know they were partnered with them. They spoke at the summit. They have Wisdom Tree also on board. BlackRock, I think it's Fidelity, McKinsey. The list is just absurd with the people that ONDO is working with. The fact that you can get it under $1 right now, I'm trying to figure out. I might sell my guitar to throw it into the market, because this is just absurd to me that we get this price action down here. And this told us this was going to happen. Rising channel, broke down, rejected, boom. Okay. Did I layer in some up here? Sure. Because I don't know when this is going to reverse. This came right down into a zone that we've had marked out. And it's actually below it. It's chopping right into this region, kind of testing its previous range high. This is a steal. Link. I mean, I cannot believe the price that this is down and tapped all the way into the low 14s. Guys, I actually have something here from Link. I think I bookmarked. I hope. Yeah, right here. Big Link update. The Federal Reserve just delayed the FedWire Fund Service, the ISO 222 rollout, that big thing that was supposed to be happening March 10th. They moved that to July 14th. So this may, oh my God, it's not everything, but this is still on the docket for them to power global finance. They're still going to be linking in with SWIFT and DTCC, and the quadrillions of dollars they're going to be, processed and data utilized on chain link. The fact that this is not running away, it just blows my mind, because it's inevitable. Guys, I mean, we can't be more bullish, and we're seeing some pressure on the market. Yeah, ETF. Is BlackRock selling? No. The clients of BlackRock that bought the ETF are selling their shares of the ETF, and then BlackRock has to sell. So it's not Larry Fink saying, I don't believe in Bitcoin anymore. Same thing with Fidelity. Same thing with Grayscale. It's the clientele that are buying the ETF representation of Bitcoin. So this is just the clientele. They have retail buyers of the ETF as well. So this is like big sell pressure on the market here. But we also saw Michael Saylor just bought 20,000 more, 20 plus thousand more Bitcoin. They're at 499,000 Bitcoin. We are worried right now. What are we worried about? This is all opportunity, everybody. That's all I got for today. Don't sell the guitar, man. I'm not. It's my favorite instrument I've ever owned. This specific one, I've played it live on stream here before. It's a Taylor 614 CE. I mean, it is so god darn beautiful. But I'm literally, I want to sell my arms and legs to put more in the market, and I'm all in. I'm beyond all. I'm so cash poor, because anytime I have any extra capital, I layer in. And I could not be more confident on this market. That doesn't mean it's going to go up today or tomorrow or even next week. Hell, it might not even go up next month. My expectation is, just from my inner bias and my just 10 years of experience in this market, I think we are due for a bullish month. I think March is going to prove to be very bullish. I think everything we're seeing now is a washout in sentiment, a washout in leverage, and over expectation of it's going to go up, and just people leveraging every step of the way. It's just clearing out all of that over expectation in the market. We see it when we see it on the liquidation heat maps, flushing out all of this. The magnets up here. This is where all the liquidity is now, at the $100,000 mark. So I think we need to be patient here. We can come together. We're here daily, baby. I love each and every one of you. We're going to head over to Blockchain Basement now. Drop some love. Make sure, come and tune in. I dropped the link. Come and tune in. Tune in. I'll be sharing another post about it on my page here in a little bit. But come and tune in to, it's right here on my page, the $17,000 giveaway. You got to be in that Spaces. It's going to be on Twitter Space, X Spaces. I'll post it again. You'll also see my image. You see it right here. It says live. It'll say the same thing later at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 45 minutes from now. Come and join. We'll tell you there how you can participate and get some of that $17,000. Because remember, before we go, I'm going to show you why. And I mean, this is the only meme coin I own, because it's not a meme coin. Dog on Bitcoin is a culture coin. And when you look at this breakdown here, oh my God, it's still with it. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. But when you look at what Pepe did in the same structure, and we're just stacking into this. Look at this. Oh my God, it's over. And this, in fact, went down. How much did this go down? It went down about 50%. Okay, the market's a little more rough right now. Smaller market cap here too. It's down about 70%. But the formation, look at this. This little dip, rip, drop. Okay, dip, rip, drop. Same formation. And what happened after that? I mean, look at this. From that dip all the way up to that top, 30x. 3,000% X. When the market starts to move, and now that dog on Bitcoin also has, it's multi-chain. They're bridging it over to multiple different access points, a Hyperliquid, and now it's on Solana, and it's all basically essentially wrapped dog. But you're getting inscribed Bitcoin, and we're going to be giving $17,000 away. I'm just going to be hosting. But OG General is donating $17,000. Which is 7.5 million dog coin. So come and tune into that at 1 p.m. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Let's head over to Blockchain Basement. Drop some love. That's all I got. Thank you for the super chat. I think it was Tradefly. Anybody else? Yeah, no other super chats. And thank you to all the members that tune in here daily. Thank you to everybody. Even if you're not a member, I appreciate you being here. Again, my name's Kelly Kellum. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. You know what? We got the links for all the partners in the description down below. We'll see you in the next one. Adios, muchachos.